Good morning, all of you. In today's session, we are going to start with the 10th standard chemistry and physics, unit 10 electromagnetism, series number 15 is going to be discussed. In the earlier session, what is meant by Lenz rule, Faraday's rule, mathematical derivation of Faraday's rule was given in the earlier session. In addition to all these, we already completed unit 1 to unit 9, entire detailed explanation regarding 10th standard chemistry and physics, all are available on the channel called World of Competitive Chemistry. Now we entered into series number 15, and it is purely application based concept going to be designed in this series number 15 session. Let us enter into our series number 15 unit 10 electromagnetism. Faraday's law and the Lenz law based examples are going to be discussed now. Example, the magnetic flux inside the coil is 400 turns. So here flux is measured in turns, right? So earlier we saw that 0 turns and n number of turns, which by using these many limitations, we already calculated in that manner. The magnetic flux inside the coil of 400 turns changes each single turn with the time as shown in the figure. So here this is the figure which used to depict the number of turns which are possible in the given time. So determine the maximum induced electromotive force generated in the coil. Is there any change in the induced EMF if time is equal to 0.1 seconds to 0.3 seconds? Here time of duration was given 0.1 to 0.3 seconds. Within this time, how extent of EMF is originated within this 400 turns of time is given to us, right? So for this purpose, we have the solution here. From the given graph, the increasing the magnetic flux through one turn of coil is given by 0.1. So here, this is depicted as the time. So x coordinate which used to indicate the time period, and y coordinate is given by pi value in a Weber, right? So here, what they are saying from the given graph, increasing the magnetic flux in one turn of the coil. So one turn of the change in the magnetic flux which is given for 0.1 second. Within 0.1 second, there is a change in the magnetic flux is possible, and second will be 0.001. For first 0.1, so in order to get the second variation, that will be 0.001 can be taken. The values are measured in Webers. According to the Faraday's law, here we have variation in the our mobility of electromotive force. Epsilon is equal to, there is a limitation, n delta pi by delta t. Substituting the values here, what we are doing here, how many turns are there? Magnetic flux inside the coil, how many turns are there? Those turns are indicated with the 400 here, right? Epsilon is equal to 400, and the second turn, it is given as 0.001 by 0.1. The pi value is taken as, pi value is nothing but change in this change in pi value can be taken. So change in the flux value can be taken, that is 0.001, and by time difference, the time difference between these two. So time difference for one jump, what we are taking here, we are taking 0.001 in order to get this 0.001. So here the y coordinate term is 0.001 was taken. At this instant, the time was denoted as 0.1, right? So that's the reason why we are taking 400 into 0.001 by 0.1. So when these decimal values get cancelled and we go with the entire calculation, epsilon is equal to 4 volts, right? Epsilon is nothing but voltage, nothing but potential difference variation, that is given as a 4 volts. From the graph, there is no change in the magnetic flux through the coil from the time is equal to 0.1. When time 0.1 was taken, at this instance, magnetic flux variation was not given here, right? So here 0.1 to 0.3. When we are going with 0.1 to 0.3, here you can clearly observe that from this 0.1 point to 0.3 point to what is the value of magnetic flux? That will be a 0.001 only. That means there is no variation. Here it is simply parallel line. This implies what? There is no change in the EMF can be observed. There is no change in the EMF. You can notice from 0.1 to 0.3 being it is a parallel line. That will be the conclusion with respect to this one. So what they are asking for time 0.1 to 0.3. What will be the change in induced EMF? 0.1 to 0.3, we can clearly notice that the line is parallel and we can't attempt any kind of variation in the EMF because the Q value is 0, right? When Q value is 0, so 0 by any other denominator, you can notice that. So that entire value will become 0. And here EMF is taken as a 0 volts. So the exact answer for this example 1 will be 0 EMF can be achieved, right? So at this instance only 0.1 is taken into the consideration. At this instance, flux is taken as 0.001. But in between the time period of 0.1 to 0.3, there is no variation in the EMF, no variation in the flux value. In turn, EMF will become 0 because here 0 by any other term will become 0 and 0 into 400 obviously will become 0. So here EMF will become 0 voltage. The correct answer for the example number 1 will be induced EMF will become 0 for the condition 0.1 to 0.3 seconds of time duration in this diagram. Move on to second example. Find the length of the conductor which is moving with a speed of 10 meter per second, the direction perpendicular to direction of magnetic field of the induction, 0.8 Tesla. If it's induced an EMF of 8 volts between the ends of the conductor, right? Find the length. We are supposed to find the length of the material. In order to get that one, we have to go with another form of Faraday's law. Epsilon is equal to BL. B can be taken here. B is nothing but flux density. L is nothing but constant distance between. That could be found here. We have to find out here, and we will be the S by delta T. It will be our ratio value. Now, epsilon value, induced EMF value is given within the problem, that is 8 volts, and in either B is nothing but strength of flux density value. Magnetic field of induction, that is given in the Tesla. B value is given 0.8 Tesla value is provided to us. Length to be determined, that is a required parameter to be detected from this example, from this sum. And what will be V? V is nothing but find the length of conductor moving with the speed of 10 meter per second. So here our meter per second value is provided as such. That's why we can take this V velocity as 10 meter per second here, right? So every parameter is well known except L. Then length of the conductor is given by length of the conductor is equal to, we can take the side. So here 8 by 0.8 into 10 can be taken. 8 will obviously will become 1 meter. So very simple calculation of this problem, because we are going to apply the formula, that is epsilon is equal to flux density into length of the conductor into velocity, which is taken as a S by delta T. So epsilon, that is EMF induced, is given as 8 volts. B value is given as 0.8 Tesla, and the length to be determined. V is nothing but velocity, that is given as 10 meter per second. So if we substitute, you will get a final answer, that is 1 meter. A very simple calculation. Now we entered into application part of the Faraday's law, which is the most important concept, because any new invention leads to a wide range of applications. If applications are not given for the induced one or invented one, that may not be that extent significant. That's the reason why the concept of what we discussed Faraday's law, how many ways it can be applied, it can be extended in our daily life, we have to focus. Let us see what could be the wide range of applications with respect to Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. So it can be applied in various purposes, like a current clamp. So current clamp can be taken here, which used to suck that one, which used to clamp that one. So just like a plug, it used to clamp electrical wires. So that is operated based on this electromagnetic induction. And another is about electrical generator at the expense of magnetic energy that can convert into electrical energy at the same instance. So this also operated based on this electromagnetic induction. And more applications we can see electromagnetic forming. So this is a kind of system where electromagnetic forming is possible, and the tablet phones are operated based on this induction process only. And induction cookware is also available in your domestic kitchens. So they are operated purely based on electromagnetic induction by supplying the external current, and magnetic field is operated, and both are working in order to cook the food what you are requiring. And the induction motors also available by applying this electrical and magnetic vector in such a manner. By applying this Faraday's law, it is possible to induce the electromagnetic forces here. So that is operated based on this Faraday's law. And induction sealing, that induction sealing is nothing but any new compound or any medicine that can be labeled sealing by proper sealing method by this electromagnetic induction process. So these are the various kind of operations, and in detail discussion is also provided to us. Electromagnetic induction is all around us, so in so many ways we are using. You might have seen that during security check while traveling to any other region, either through trains or through the air navigation. So you could have to notice that security check is the most common thing in order to avoid any kind of any kind of abnormal things, whatever. In order to prevent all those conditions, security check is the most prominent thing we can notice. So in this process here, a large upright coil of the wire can be taken, and which induced with a weak alternating current and used to produce the magnetic field. If you are carrying any significant quantities of iron, any other goods of abnormal things, or any metallic instruments, and that used to induce the magnetic flux, so that large coil changes, so flux variation can be noticed, and that used to rise the alarm, so that we can notice what kind of things they are carrying. So in order to check this here, electromagnetic induction is operated here. And next is about this tape recorder, where we are getting recorded sounds. A tape recorder which we use to listen the songs, and voice record is also possible, and which purely based on the electromagnetic induction. It consists of a piece of plastic tape, and iron oxide was taken, and that got magnetized first, and plastic tape coated upon that, and some part of others can be taken. So first iron oxide was taken, and that is entirely coated and magnetized first, and the plastic tape coating is provided on its surface. When the tape is moved past as a small coil of wire ahead of the tape recorder, the magnetic field produced by the tape changes, which leads to the generation of current in the small current carrying wire. So that here induction of the magnetic current is possible, and that used to propagate the sound. Sound waves get propagated in the manner. And one more application you can find in our daily life will be a ATM working, automated teller machine. How could we use principle of electromagnetic induction in the case of using ATM card when its magnetic strip is swiped through the scanner? Discuss with your teacher how it is working. Let us see how the working principle of this one is there. I collected this answer from the online platform called Doubtnut. Thank you very much. If the card is moved through the card reader, then the change in magnetic flux is possible. So here is also the working of Faraday's law. Electromagnetic induction is possible. Flux variation you can notice here, which induce the potential as EMF. EMF is originated because of the change in the flux. The current received by the pickup coil goes through the signal amplification and translated into a binary code, so that it can be read by the computer. So binary code is the simple language which is familiar for the computer. So initially, whatever barcode is present on the card can be scanned, so that that flux variation can be induced, which in turn generate the change in the potential. That potential difference used to receive the signal from the card, and that is translated into the binary code, which read by the computer, and the corresponding operation of that one is possible purely based on electromagnetic induction. And move on to another application where we are using a cookware which purely based on the electromagnetic induction. An induction stove works in the principle of electromagnetic induction only. The metal coil was taken and it is kept just beneath the cooking surface. Wherever we are cooking, beneath this here metal coil was there, which is simply magnetized. It carries the alternating current. We are supposed to pass the alternating current through this one, so that alternating current produces an alternating magnetic field. As already we know, when current passing through the conducting material, there is obviously a field generated around that, but that is denoted as a magnetic field. When you keep a metal pan with water on it, it varying magnetic field beneath it, a process, a bottom surface of the pan of EMF will be generated that used to cook the food, whatever you want to. Right, so here a metal cookware was kept on the induction stove surface, which used to change the flux of magnetic field which is present beneath of this one, and that used to induce the variation in the electromotive force that in turn generates the energy, and that energy used for the cooking purpose. This is the working principle of electromagnetic induction stove. Because of the pan metal, induced EMF generates induced current as well. Since the pan has a finite resistance and the flow induced current and produces heat, and that heat conducted through the water, that's why we call this a stove induction. So here, whenever variation in the EMF is possible, that in turn generates the current also, because always whenever we are taking a closed circuit, in that variation and electrical current both are simultaneously propagated. So here induced current is generated and that have a certain resistance, because if that resistance is not there, so as continuously current is rising exponentially, what happens, we may not cook in a proper way. That may cause any kind of fire hazards as well. That's the reason why that should be optimized for certain resistance. Up to that only it will be raised, the temperature will be raised up to that extent only, and that may not go beyond that one. So in that manner we are protecting, we are taking the safeguard for domestic applications, and some kind of what protective safeguard techniques were uh, uh, kept inbuilt in this induction cell so that it will be safe to handle, right? So here, whenever this induced current is generated, that in turn converted into heat energy. Heat energy can be transmitted, because being we are using a metal containers for cooking purpose, they are a better conductor of heat and electricity, so that they can be easily transported and reaches water and in turn used to cook the food, whatever you want to cook, right? So in this manner, induction stove is working here. So these are the various applications which we are using in our daily life with respect to this electromagnetic induction, which is framed by Faraday's law, in addition to Lenz's law, right? So by this, we completed most of the topics, and only one more topic is left, that is electrical generator exclusively. Again, working based on this electromagnetic induction process. By that, we are going to wind up this unit. So hope this will be helpful for your preparation. Thank you very much for your consistent listening. Thank you, one and all.